it always sells. There's all this talk of honor and stuff. I look at it and I go, nah, do not confuse a surprised one-off seller with a rogue operator. I feel like a getaway driver. Those of you who chase that high, you know what I'm talking about. It's a beautiful day today. I feel refreshed. Great way to start the day. Woke up, Jenny made me coffee. Grabbed my gear, couple of phones to mount, to record today. There is definitely such a thing as Monday energy. Start of the week energy. The energy you feel to get up and go with the rest of the world. Doesn't matter whether you work Monday to Friday and take the weekends off. Something about the buzz on a Monday morning when you wake up. If you have a lot to do, you can't wait to get stuck in, even if you've had the chance to get some of it done on the weekend. I've noticed as a reseller, even when I'm working on a Saturday and a Sunday, not because I have to, because I want to. I like to use my time to continue to make progress, and Monday comes, I still feel that same buzz. It's not like another day. And so we're starting off today with a pickup on Marketplace. It's only 10 minutes away. They had a lot of trains for $100. Messaged them. I messaged on 3 lots, and this one was available. I have a competitor that lives north of me 20 minutes. And it's funny because when I messaged on this lot, on the 3 lots, the one in the north was taken. They were all listed within an hour, right? One in the north was taken. Surprise, surprise. Further north wasn't taken, so I took that one. And then this one that is kind of like southeast, where I am, not taken. And then later offered on as well. The flip on this one should be close to 700. So they've messaged me then saying, I've gotten a better offer, but because we've committed to you, we will, let you come pick it up. Are you sure you're coming to pick it up? Like, yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being upfront with me. I'll be there. And then this morning, woke up, messaged them, yep, I'll be there. See you shortly. And they said, no problem. When someone is willing to tell you that they've gotten a better offer, you don't have to feel that you have to offer them more money at that point, unless they're giving you the inclination that they want more money. If they've already said we've committed to you, then reciprocate by going this little step further. Give them back something for their character. And by that I mean, people don't like to feel like they're out of pocket, right? So this might make sense, this might not. I'll try and convey it. Let's just say someone has been offered more money. They then give you the chance to respond to that by going, we've committed to you. So what they're saying is, I'm doing you a favor now. You could say, well, you're not really, because I was in first, and you could behave like you're entitled to get it first. So yeah, of course, you did the right thing. But if that happens just in your head, you haven't conveyed it on the table. In their mind, they've given you something, and you haven't given something back. And it's quite clear that money isn't the only driver for this seller. They love recognition. They love confirmation that their principles are good. And so going the step further by saying, I appreciate your honesty. That's a values exchange, right? I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your transparency. Thank you for keeping your word. You are going to be giving. You've given us joy. I feel assured that there are sellers on Marketplace who, don't sell things from under people. We've had this happen before. you're one of the good ones, things like that. Just give them something back explicitly that confirms they've done the right thing. Because it's very clear that they've considered the money, but money isn't the only thing that drives them. If money was the only thing that drives them, they might say something like, we've been offered more money for this, I'm really sorry, can you meet us? Right? Or they might just go, we've been offered more, and then end of it. So if money is the only driver, then you're not even going to get a chance to ask them to I guess, honor the deal. And I know we might expect sellers on marketplace to be honorable people, but here's the thing. Not everyone is you, and if you expect everyone to be like you, it becomes a very frustrating experience running a business. We're not asking you to do business with marketplace sellers long term. You're not there trying to find an ongoing supplier. It's a one-off deal. Do you want the stock? Can you make money from the stock? Yes. Sure. You've offered you've prepared to pay $100 for a $700 return. If they come back and say we've been offered more money, but they don't tell you what the dollar is, are you willing to put your pride aside to then offer them $200 if it is still worth your while to do so? Are you willing to go back and say how much did they offer? Would you consider $150? To continue that conversation without, I suppose, giving in to that anger of how dare you, and some resellers are like that. They take it very personally because when they start out, they're still figuring out the separation between business and personal. Sorry guys, feeling a bit unwell and my nose is a bit clogged up. They run their business out of their house. Their stock doesn't sit in a separate space. There's a lot of cash purchasing. The stuff that they sell, for the most part, is stuff that they normally would have bought for themselves anyways, because it's something that they're familiar with. They work on their own time. All of that doesn't help with splitting work from personal. And so when buying things on marketplace, it can feel like, and then the other one, becoming your own boss because you want to feel good about yourself rather than build something that will provide for you and your family going forward. A lot of resellers, when they start, they've been at work in jobs that don't affirm their person. They're not encouraged them to go to work, and they've discovered this thing that they can do that makes money, that makes them feel good because, hey, I can do this. So all to say, if you're on marketplace and you're having conversations with sellers and you feel like you're about to get a win, a personal win, and then it starts to derail because of a dishonorable seller, switch to your business hat. You don't have to deal with this person after the transaction. It's a transaction. You can still get the stock. You can still turn up without a long face. You can still turn up and be like, hey, I'm really glad I got this. It's still a deal. You can still say things like that. You don't have to be sour about it just because they've been offered. Because the fact is, it's still money. Money for someone who's found a collection, they've put it up for 100, and then after that, they've been offered 200, 300, 400. If the margins are still worth your effort, figure out how to get the stock. Because when you put your business hat on, not your personal hat on, acknowledging things like how often does a lot like this come up? Is the supply scarce? If the supply is scarce, you owe it to yourself as a business owner to still get the stock in. Doesn't matter that the profit that you thought you could make is now less. It's still profitable, is it not? That's the business decision. Put the personal aside. Remember, you're not dating them to marry them. You're literally performing a single one-off transaction. That's it. Of course, if you arrive and they say things like, oh, I've got more, would you like to look at it? You could then say, hey, I was not expecting to pay this price on everything. Work with me here, like I'm here to do business. I'm here to buy more. I've got the cash in the car. Set yourself up to then make them owe you one, right? That's the negotiation back and forth that you can only get to if you don't dwell on the sour feeling of, dang it, I'm not going to get this deal anymore, this seller is trying to screw me. So yeah, just something that isn't talked about enough, I think. When I go onto the various Facebook pages, I will see sellers complaining, and they will chime in with comments like, yeah, that's why I don't sell on marketplace anymore, people don't keep their word, people don't turn up, people have no honor. That's not true. I buy hundreds of lots every month, and I don't have that experience. The majority of sellers are honorable. The ones who do stick out, for lack of honor, whenever it is, they stick out, it's money, right? And it's not even, and it's also one-off money to them, if you think about it. Do not confuse a surprised one-off seller with a rogue operator. A rogue operator is someone who, baits and switches. Like they continually do this thing where they will underprice, and then, like, not all real estate agents, but I suppose real estate agents are known for this. Some of them, right? They'll say property goes for this much, and then everyone comes, and then you realize, oh, actually no, it's not. It's underpriced, and they've done it, and they tried to get as close to underquoting as possible to get as many people through the door. That's a rogue operator. That's not the same as someone who has found something, thinks it's worth 100, only to then find out it's 300. If you were that person, you'd be swayed too, wouldn't you? So don't confuse the two. And I think in all these Facebook groups, when there's all this talk of honor and stuff, I look at it and I go, nah, if you got offered 3 times what your items are worth, you're a reseller, right? Like you wouldn't just hang on to your honor too. You suddenly become a lawyer trying to work out, is this the exception that allows me to sleep at night? Everybody goes through it. Do not tell me that if somebody offers you 3 to 5 times what your items are worth, that you do not have that conversation, that internal dialogue. Don't tell me that this doesn't happen. Nah, I'm a man of my word. Yeah, eventually, but you still have that dialogue. And the fact that you have that dialogue means that there's a point. Yeah, there's a point where you may stop being a man of your word, because it's good for my family. Maybe it's 10x, maybe it's 20x. But the point being is not as black and white as all the loud keyboard warriors on Facebook make it seem, right? And also bearing in mind that social media does this thing where it gives people a chance to chime in so that they feel good about themselves. Yeah, I do that too. This whole Me Too thing. Yeah. So personal, but it's all personal hat stuff. Personal hat off, business hat on. Try and get the stock. Try and negotiate. Recognize the exchange, whether it's a monetary one or an intangible one over values and emotions and feel good things. Recognize that exchange so that you give yourself the best chance to get the stock, because otherwise your competitors will. Plain and simple. So we got it. Now it's time to hit home and process. I feel like a getaway driver. That feeling where you just hope that they don't change their mind last minute until you get the stuff, right? Until the stock's in hand. There's going to be that feeling of like, oh, I hope he doesn't change his mind. Oh man, I don't like these new housing estates that just cramped. Everything's cramped. You can barely fit 2 cars side by side. Alright, time to go and check out the op shops before we head home. I'm on the road already, might as well. And the one that I'm going to in particular, they had a 50% off toys. Last week, they said they had too many toys. I asked if I could look at what they've got at the back. They said, oh, we'll bring you out as we process them. So we're not on that level with this op shop yet. So I'll head in and see what I can find. And then it's packing. It's looking like it's going to be a hot day today. It's already 26 degrees and it's only 10 o'clock. The The focus will be to pack as much as possible. Try and clear all the packing, sorry. The focus will be to clear all the packing and get ready for our trip to Malaysia. It's my kid's first time back. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited because, yeah, I don't know how it's gonna go. Of course, we expect there to be lots of connection, lots of family. I haven't been back since 2015. So it's been 8 years, more than 8 years. Lots of family that I haven't seen in a long time. I've had relatives pass away. I've had cousins become parents. Yeah, it's a whole other level of feelings, I reckon. I remember growing up, I used to look forward to my cousins coming from overseas just to see how they're doing, how they've grown. This was pre-social media as well, so you just didn't know what to expect. You didn't know how they were going to show up. And then now, even with social media, you look forward to more of that surprise. You know, what would they sound like? How would they feel like when you give them a hug? Will the energy that you see online match the energy that you see in person? You just want to fill in all the blanks, you know. When someone tells you that they don't go onto other platforms anymore because they get whatever they need from the Discord community, that's high praise. I'm not trying to be cocky about it. I'm not trying to say that ours is the best place, but what I am saying is, when you cover all bases because you've got enough people there who tell you a bunch of different things that are all useful to you, you don't need to go elsewhere. Come on there, ask a question. It's live. When someone is there to answer a question, you can go on and make decisions about your business, right? So I love that we have been given that compliment by a few members already. We look forward to help more resellers feel that way. Next up, labels time. Oh. So trying something a little bit different today. Trying to retrieve orders first before packing them, rather than packing and going, just to see what it feels like. I mean, why not, right? So these are all retrieved already. They haven't been packed yet. And I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go get some lunch and then we'll come back and continue. This little bag is called nasi lemak, and it's essentially rice wrapped in paper and plastic, coconut rice with chili. A friend helped us to order it from a catering place. And apparently it's really good and authentic, so looking forward to it. Look at that. Oh. So I grew up eating this, every other week. Normally you'd find this stuff sitting in like a coffee shop on a table, and there'll just be bags on the table, and you'd grab one, eat it, just pay the guy and go. Very, very quick kind of a breakfast. Just from the smell. Oh, it smells good. It smells fragrant. How spicy it's gonna be, I've got no idea. Man, if you can't tell, I'm excited. I'm actually pretty excited. and I've already had some food. I've had some cheese, kind of spinach ricotta puffs for lunch, forgetting that my friend was gonna buy this and bring it here. I'm still excited despite the fact that I'm half full already. Normally, if we have spicy food, we'll eat, we'll get sweaty, and we'll just keep pushing forward. There's no stopping. There's like, you wipe your sweat, blow your nose, you keep going, and it's part of the experience. And it's weird because in a setting where that's not common, everybody might feel a bit self-conscious, right? I'm sweating, I'm blowing my nose, it all looks a bit gross. But in Malaysia, when we eat spicy food, if we're suffering through it all, it's like a shared experience. I've heard some people say that when you eat overly spicy food and you start to sweat and you feel the cooling in your head because of all the droplets on your scalp, it's like an enlightenment type experience. Those of you who chase that high, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you who don't chase that high and think we're stupid, also a very valid opinion. It's one of those things where, I think it's like having children. Those who have children think that it's eye-opening and it's amazing and life-changing, and those who haven't had children yet will look at it and go, why would you do that? There's a line you cross. There is no gradual. It's just, there's the line. You don't chase it, you chase it. And if you grow up enjoying it, you just keep chasing it and you never forget it. And even coming to Australia, where spicy food is not as common, every time there's a chance to go and enjoy some, I'm reminded of how much I actually enjoy the shared experience of it all. So I guess I'm sharing it with you. Another thing about nasi lemak is you don't have to eat it hot. Like some dishes, if you go eat Japanese ramen, for example, you want it to be hot. When you go and eat like porridge, or when you go and have a barbecue, you want it to be hot. You don't want to enjoy, a sausage sizzle that's cold because the fat solidifies. Nasi lemak, for the most part, is a cold dish. You take it out, you can eat it like this, or goes in the fridge. Take it out, don't have to microwave it, just eat it like supper, and it still tastes great at whatever temperature. Another reason why I like this dish, because when you're hungry, grab and go, no prep time, just eat it. And actually it's very easy to meal prep as well. It's just rice, coconut rice that you can boil a big rice cooker worth of it, portion out by a small bowl. There's this thing called sambal, which is like a chili paste with anchovies and nuts. And then you've got sliced cucumber, hard-boiled eggs. So really, if you make a bottle of the paste, the bottle of the sambal, you've got the rice, you've got the hard-boiled eggs, you've got the cucumber, slice them up, you can pack it into 6-7 packets. Every day eat one, put it in the fridge.
In the end, they didn't buy them because the shipping was too much. So, but I was only saying to Tony today, I must re-look at doing some international shipping on some items and see what happens.
Well,
just another task for the year.
But New Zealand is so cheap to ship to, though. When you say it's too expensive, what do you mean?
Like a small green envelope that I use for a lot of things, which is $4, whatever it is. To ship the same thing to New Zealand was going to be $14.
That's not too bad.
So, when it's a $30 item, and then their exchange rate. But anyway, I will look at doing that, I think, sooner than later.
Yep.
My list of things to do this year is just getting longer and longer. Keep it interesting.
Yes.
Now off you go and pack. See you later.
First off, Ryder from Paw Patrol. This one is with the character and the vehicle. They come apart. It's either this or it's stuck onto the vehicle as a carry-on thing. This sold for $39 plus shipping. Now, this only sells for $19 in the store, so this is, I guess, retail arbitrage. Ryder is the main character because he kind of controls all the puppies. usually in every box that gets put on the shelf, there's like one rider to two of every other pup. And so quite hard to come by, especially if you live in areas where I suppose there's more kids than there are to Kmart's. So these ones I pretty much just pick them up from the Kmart shelf for $19. If they're on sale, $15, and then just let it sit to like the $39. It always sells, so I have no issues picking this one up. The other pups I leave alone. Yeah, this is a medium satchel. This next one is from a buyer who happens to like Jeeps. Like I said, nothing particularly exciting, but everything rather insightful. So this tells me that, and this buyer, by the way, buys within car brands. So for Jeeps, in the past he's bought like 4 Fords. He's bought you know, old school like Chevy muscle cars in a bundle as well. And I think car collectors, and a lot of collectors are a bit like that. They think they are aware of what's in the whole collection, and then their mind goes towards a subsection of the collection. They go, I quite like that, and then I like that other thing, and then eventually they buy it all together. So things like, if you're an Avengers person, suddenly you go, oh, there's Spider-Man, I like Spider-Man, all the different suits, buy the suits, the different suited Spider-Man action figures. That logic. It makes sense because then it allows you to I guess, make decisions how you stock your shop. Rather than chasing bolos, you're filling up the gaps as well. You can of course have a collectible store with only the top end stuff, but you'll be hunting a lot to get those top end stuff. Or you can also fill up your store with the stuff in between that may not be as high value, but when a collector wants to buy that section of a collection, they will potentially clean you out, and you get to make that medium and low level dollar as well. Once again, if you have no extra time and you need to be super efficient and you have your own system, this isn't for you. It's more for if you're starting out and you have time. Don't be stubborn and insist on only getting the stuff that sells for the hundreds of dollars and leaving the tens of dollars behind. Pick up the tens of dollars, see if you can actually source it easily. I like trying things so that you can learn something. If you don't figure out what you can source easily or what your eye draws to quickly, then you're gonna feel quite limited in what your business can produce. And the last thing you want is to think that my business isn't worth building because it's not growing, or because you feel like there's a limitedness to the opportunity, when in actual fact you were just stubborn. So don't be stubborn, try it, be as broad as you can, learn as much as you can about a category, and really work out what's the easiest rinse and repeat for you. And of course, once you get to the maximum part of that point, you try again from the beginning, and you may never end up, I suppose, getting to treasure hunting level. You could very easily rinse and repeat really quickly all the mid-tier stuff and have multiple levels. You can chop and change a reselling business any way you wish because you can sell anything. It all goes to the same platform, and you pack them all in the same place anyways. The only difference is your knowledge determines what you see, and everybody is different. So rather than chasing what's popular, famous, sought after, let that inform you and lead you to see what you can pick up easily. The humidity is making it really hard to talk, but I will persist. Sucks being sick. Ooh, sushi. Nothing better for clearing up those blocked sinuses than wasabi.
Got herself a manicure kit. Daddy, it's a manicure kit.